Hi everybody, Big Scribe here, and I have another book review, and this time I'm going to be reviewing the ARC, the Advanced Reader copy, technically, of the new Warlock Holmes book, The Hell-Hound of the Baskervilles. This is a book series written by G.S. Denning, a friend of mine that I met through his book, actually. I heard about his book through a group that I'm in on Facebook, and I was really interested in reading it, and I started reading it, and really loved it. And he agreed to do an interview with me for the first book, and I have a review of the first book, and I'll go ahead and link that down in the description below so you can go and check that review out as well. And afterwards, he offered me a copy of his new book that was coming out, and I agreed to do a review on it. And honestly, I love the first book. The first book was so good. I went ahead and moved it up to the top, to the second slot on my top 10 list. But after reading this, after reading The Hell-Hound of the Baskervilles, I have to say, this is my new favorite series. Like, I love this series so much. You just don't even know. Outshines Sarah J. Maas. It outshines James Patterson, all of them. I love this series, and honestly, G.S. Denning is one of the most awesome, down-to-earth people you could ever talk to. He's a really smart guy, and he knows what he's talking about. He gives really good advice to other writers, and he's hilarious. And this series is so funny. Like, if you want a good series that's like fantasy and it's kind of paranormal and will really make you giggle, that is this series right here. This book is so good, and I can't tell you how many times I just about peed. Actually, I did honestly pee myself laughing twice reading this book. And I'm not ashamed to admit it because it's that funny. So, but it's really good. And what it's about basically is it's a paranormal parody of Sherlock Holmes. And in the first book, you're introduced to Warlock Holmes, and that's his actual name. And it's all written still from the perspective of John Watson, just like the Sherlock Holmes stories are. But this is a little different. Sherlock Holmes isn't this vast genius that we know him as from the detective stories. He's actually a little bit of a dimwit. He knows a lot about magical stuff in the magical world, but he pretty much knows jack squat about the real world and the way things work in society. Dr. John Watson's goal is to help him fit into society and to help him pretend to be a normal person and pass himself off as a detective by teaching him how to use like deduction and stuff like that. I'm sorry, I've got a little bit of a gas issue. I'm trying to control that in video. But it all comes out in some really hilarious kind of conversations. And they have a really funny back and forth because, honestly, Warlock Holmes is like this adorable, childish kind of adult. And you just can't help but love him. He has that silliness to him that you just can't help but love. And Dr. John Watson is very serious. He's very professional. And he insists that Warlock be professional as well. But that's not what Warlock Holmes is all about. So he's not about being professional. He likes things done the easy way, and usually that involves him using magic, which kind of does a little bit of damage to reality, and that's besides the point. But throughout the series, Warlock Holmes lets his story become known, and that's what this book is really good about. Is the first story, we really got to know him, and we got to know the main villain of the series, which is Moriarty. Of course, you know that if you've ever read Sherlock Holmes, Moriarty is the main villain anyway. So we got to know the main villain, and we got to know the people that John and Warlock work with, which are Lestrade the vampire and Torg Grogson the ogre. And honestly, Torg is my favorite character. I love Torg. He's so hilarious. He's just like this big oaf that just really wants to be loved. Like, that's kind of reminds me of myself a little bit. Just a little. But that aside, you get, with this book, what you get in this that you didn't get with the first book is you really get an origin story for how Warlock Holmes became who he is. And it's so fascinating. His origin story is probably the best origin story I've ever read out of anything, including comics, because it's really sad and it's actually kind of heartbreaking the way that he becomes the way he is. And it kind of explains why he's become this kind of silly, kind of magical being, because his brain just kind of gets fried from all the experiences that he's been through in a way. And it's so amazing. But my favorite part of the book is the last story, because you know how Sherlock Holmes is always in short stories and stuff. It's the same thing with this. This is basically a collection of short stories of Warlock Holmes and John Watson and their friends and the adventures that they have together. And each one's different different mystery that they have to solve. But they all kind of tie together to form the book. And this one has 4 different... Wait, I think it's 5. Hold on, I might have told you wrong. I'm looking at the beginning. Yeah, it's 5. 5 different stories. It's The Adventure of the Blackened Barrels, Silverblaze Murder Horse, which is so insanely funny. The end of that story just had me... That's where I peed myself the first time, was the end of that story. The Ray Gateway to Another World, which is really good. The Adventure of the Solitary Tricyclist, which his wife informed me that she actually helped write that story. And The Hell-Hound of the Baskervilles is the last one. And it's like a good chunk of the book is The Hell-Hound of the Baskervilles. And that's where you get the origin story, and you actually get to find out more about Moriarty. And you find out Moriarty's 10 times more powerful than you thought he was in the first book. But that's not all you get in it. You get this epic battle that I won't go into detail because I don't want to spoil the story. But it's like so amazing. Like the detail that he puts in this book, you can really see everything. And the series in general has such good detail. It all plays out like a movie in your head. Like you can really, really see everything happening as you're reading it. And it just comes out so beautiful. And I really, really wish someone would pick this up for a TV show or a movie, because I would kill to see this on screen. This is such a funny series. It is so amazing. I think everybody should buy it. Everybody should read it. This should be required reading. Like, this has to go on your TBR. If you've not read it yet, put this series on your TBR. I mean, the artwork alone. Look at that cover. It's such a pretty cover, and I tried to take good care of this book. I kept it in my book buddy whenever I wasn't reading it. And I kept it nice and safe because I really do cherish this series. This series means so much to me. And I really can't wait for book 3. I told him and his wife afterwards, I was like, I need book 3 like ASAP. I can't go without book 3. I have to wait a whole year for book 3, and I think the title of it is going to be My Grave Ritual. It is book 3. Comes out in May 2018. I wish it was May already, 2018. Come on! Just give me a TARDIS and I'll go get the book and I'll come back and I'll give y'all a review. That's what I need. But anyway, this is an awesome series. I loved it, and you guys would love it. If you like paranormal type stories, if you like funny type things, you'll enjoy this. There's a really big silliness. You know, like the silliness you get in Doctor Who? There's a big feeling for that here, because you can tell he's a Whovian. Like, you can tell there's a little bit of a Doctor Who fan in there. And, like, it's just, you can tell he's really watched Sherlock, and, like, there's that silly back and forth between between Watson and Holmes, and it's so amazing. This book is so well developed, and I can't wait to see what happens in the next book, because the end just leaves it wide open. And I was like, what? What? No! Like, that was me at the end, and I was so sad that it was the end of the book. I really need more. I need more to this series, and I really am hoping that the publisher picks it up for, like, more books, because this series I could see going on for a while, and would be extremely happy if that were the case. because I love this, and it's an amazing series, and I can't wait for book 3. Well, me and the author, last time I did an interview with him, and I wanted to include something else to go along with this review, but I figured I would do the review for the book, and then I would do another separate video for what we had planned to do. Instead of a review, this time he's going to be answering online dating site questions, and the personalities of the characters. I sent him a list of questions that I wanted him to answer, and I'll read them out to you, and he's going to answer them in the personalities of some of the characters from the series, like Holmes and Watson and Moriarty and Lestrade and Torg, I think are the 5 that I gave him a list of. And I can't wait to see what he says to these, because it's going to be insanely funny, and I already know I'm not going to be able to control myself with the laughter in that video. But if you guys want a good series to read, Warlock Holmes by G.S. Denning is honestly the best series I could ever think of. I really suggest you go check it out. Put it on your TBR, and I just realized my pillow was in the background. But oh well, I don't like putting my pillow in the background. It's very random. But now I am reading The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli. I'm like 40 pages in. Absolutely love this book so far. It's so good. I could do without a couple things in it, but there's some moral issues I have with the book, but I'll look past it just for the fact that I really feel like I connect to the main character, and that's something that I find is important to me. And I will be doing a review of that book once I finish it. And hopefully I'll be able to finish it sooner, because I'm kind of out of school now for a little while. So it's going to be great that I have a break. But like I said, check this book out. Comes out tomorrow. This is the first time I've ever got to read a book before it's released. And I'm so proud that it got to be my favorite series that I got to review. So go ahead and check this out. Comes out tomorrow. And Barnes & Noble is going to have it on the shelves tomorrow. So go get your copy. And if you haven't read the first book, it's on Amazon and it's at Barnes & Noble. Go get your copies, because it's amazing. It's called Warlock Holmes, A Study in Brimstone. And it's so good, and you'll love it. You'll fall in love with it within the first page, and trust me, just trust me, okay? Because I'm never going to steer you wrong with a book series. This is the best book series I've ever read. Quite honestly. And this is coming from somebody who's read Throne of Glass and all those. But I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll be back this week with some more videos. God bless you. Bye.